Hey everybody, welcome to Cycle News. This is a little bit different to what we thought we were going to be doing with this bike. I thought we'd be giving you the report of this brand new Ducati Streetfighter V4 S from the world launch in Spain, but because of all the terrible stuff that's been going on in the world, that's not happening this year. But we've still got to have a ride on it. I've got to say, I'm so rapt to finally throw a leg over this thing. I remember when the first V4 Panigale came out a couple of years ago, I was like, well, they've clearly got to be making a Street Fighter version of it. Good to say, this thing just hasn't disappointed at all. I mean, look, it's as bonkers as it looks and it sounds. The Street Fighter V4 S is basically a stripped Panigale. Same 1103cc V4 motor that has just had a little bit of an overhaul, not a full overhaul, but like a little tweak here and there with the latest iteration. By the way, if you would like to see the video of the latest iteration of the Panigale V4, up there's a link for it. We did that video a couple of months ago back in Bahrain. Now, the Street Fighter V4 is, I mean, for sure, at least for me, it has been the most eagerly anticipated bike of 2020. They have moved the power a little bit lower in the rev range, so you get a bit more sort of usable torque, I guess you could say, below about sort of 9,000 or so RPM. But my God, it's fast. It's bonkers fast. You know, like for a street bike with high bars, this just puts this game so far up into the higher echelons now. I mean, look, this is just as fast as a super bike, at least on normal roads. It has a presence about it that's just other bikes just don't have. Every stoplight I've been on this thing, I've had drivers, what the hell is that thing? But yeah, it's an incredible bike. You got the electronic Öhlins suspension. This is the NIX 43mm NIX 34 and TTX 36 shock. So basically the same stuff that you had on the previous generation Panigale. This doesn't come with the gas-charged Öhlins forks like you would get on something like a R1M, YZF R1 and R1M Yamaha. So not quite the full higher spec racing fork, but you don't need it, honestly. Like, the suspension action on this is really, really nice. One of the funny things about this bike, and I've got this bike for one day, so I'm trying to ride this thing as much as possible. One of the funny things about this bike is just considering how nice it is at low speed. For something that's as, let's be honest, bloody angry, it's not quite as angry as the old Street Fighter. And if you would like to see what that bike was like to ride, again, up there, that we did a small test on a 2010 Street Fighter S back in, I think it was February or something rather earlier this year. I mean, that thing is, compared to this, that thing is a dinosaur in comparison to what this thing is. This is a real Jekyll and Hyde kind of a bike. You know, it has really lovely road manners. For something as gnarly and as manic and as crazy and powerful as this thing is, it's really sweet thing to ride just cruising around on the streets. Normal traffic speed, if you like. Considering that you have such adjustability with that suspension and also all the different riding modes, you got, I think, 4 different riding modes, plus the intervening modes within those riding modes. You'd be able to, and I guess, look, there you go, there goes the plane. You also get a wing. You get wings on this thing as well. It's a naked bike with wings. So, you know, that's a whole other thing. I'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, the way this thing handles itself at low RPM and low speed is surprisingly really, really nice. It's a nice little street bike. But man, if you kick it in the guts and crack that throttle open, hang on, man, hang on, because you don't have the wind protection. You don't have, so if you crack that throttle and you really start throwing gears at the thing, you get blown off the back of the thing almost. Another good thing that I really like about the V4 Street Fighter S is the fact that it's really comfortable. You know, for a guy like me, I'm 6'1", so what, 181, 2 centimeters, something like that. For me, it's probably the most comfortable naked bike, I think, outside of the Super Duke. Super Duke, I could ride that thing all day. But this is really nice. A couple of guys, a couple of my journo friends that I've spoken to have said they didn't really like the shape of this tank. But for me, it fits really, really well. Alessandro Vaglio, who's a lead Ducati development rider, again, another video. If you want to see what it's like to develop a Ducati, up there. There you go. That's that interview with Alessandro Valle that we did recently. He's a bit of a taller guy. He's about 6 foot. So he's thankfully developed this maybe a little bit more for us taller riders, which is great. So yeah, the bike is very, very comfortable. Braking package on this, obviously you get cornering ABS, you get the Brembo Stylema calipers, you get the Brembo Radio Master Cylinder, you get a Radio Brembo Clutch Master Cylinder as well. The braking on the thing is superb. You know, that we've used this setup on a bunch of different bikes. It's not surprising. It works brilliantly. Really, really lovely feel at the lever. Huge stopping power. Yeah, enough said. It's great. The wings for me are a bit of I suppose, an aesthetic thing. For me, they don't make any difference. At least for street speeds. I have tested the V4 S Panigale with the new wings, which come off the Panigale V4R, and that does make a difference on track. Let me tell you, it really does, because that's where the speed is increasing dramatically, and as you're up, the downforce is coming down, and it's planting the bike on the road, and it's a big difference. But on the road, I don't know. They're cool to have. It's not a racing bike, so you just got to bear that in mind for what it is. But you know, for $23,995 MSRP in the United States, getting up there, definitely getting up there. You can get the V4, the standard V4 version, which is $19,995, but you don't get the electronic Öhlins, and you don't get the forged Marchesini wheels. Yeah, when you consider that you can buy an MT10 for pretty much half the price, you know, it's up to you whether you want to spring out the extra 24 grand or the 24 grand to buy this thing. However, I don't think they're the same customer. I think they're looking at different. You're looking at different things with that. It goes like blazes. The suspension action is excellent. The braking's great. The electronics are good. It looks awesome. It has a presence like nothing I've ever seen, or at least nothing I've ridden for a long time. So look, well done, Ducati. Fair enough too. You know, it's been a long time in the making, this bike, and let me tell you, it's as good as it looks.